In the theme park world, nothing currently matches the hype of Epic Universe. And one of the major questions we have looming out there that's been a question for a bit is when is Epic Universe going to open? Especially coming off of the latest Wizarding World Ministry of Magic land preview. A lot of people are really excited and hyped for this new theme park. There's been a lot of speculation, myself included, about when this park could open, but I came across some information on the Disney Dish podcast by Lynn Testa. And if you don't know who he has been around theme parks and been heavily involved for many, many, many years, has a lot of insiders and I guess you could say sources that would tell him things. Had an interesting a bit of information in that Epic Universe might be delayed, which I had never heard before his little snippet here. So I'm going to play this segment from that show and then we will talk about it. So, hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic. Like I said, this was from the Disney Dish podcast. This is you've got Lynn Testa and Jim Hill. And so I'm just going to play this part specifically about Epic Universe, and then we will discuss it.
So, in speaking with financial analysts after that call and with folks in the Universal Orlando fan community that I think we would all consider experts, what I heard was, things that I would classify as rumors right now, but still concerning, and things like this. So, my understanding is that Universal was hoping to open Epic in the first 3-ish months of 2025. And then, in the last 60 days, that slipped to, quote, summer of 2025. Now I'm hearing these things. Number one, we actually don't have a solid opening day yet. Number two, at least one major land will not be completed until the fall of 2025. So three, Universal's considering a phased opening of Epic Universe, where they open most, but not all of the park to paying guests.
Now, obviously, if you are like me, somebody who's very looking forward to Epic Universe, that is not anything you want to hear. Now, I just want to preface, he even said that's a rumor. I couldn't find anything about it. I looked around, I'm not saying I'm the best researcher out there on the internet, but I couldn't find anything that was alluding to what he may be alluding to here. Whatever, if this is true, I don't know which land this would be. He didn't specify which land it would be. Looking at the construction photos, I don't think there's any way to know, because I don't think that would probably be something that is maybe visible in that way. It more than likely would be some sort of issue with a ride or some sort of internal systems issue. And I had made a previous video of talking about Steve Tatham, who is the Epic Universe creative director, like the one of the main people in charge, where he had said on a podcast that they were looking to open Epic Universe before the summer of 2025. Now, that interview was apparently before this new information had came out. So I do hope this isn't true. I've often wondered, given, and they go on to talk about here, because obviously this show is a Disney, more geared toward Disney World. They even have Jim Scholl, who is a former Imagineer, as I believe he's a permanent co-host on the show now. So they definitely talk more about, Disney World things, but they do have contacts because there's a lot of people from Disney World that have gone over to work at Universal over the years and all those things. They had talked about Disney potentially, like if it was true that Epic Universe would be delayed, that Disney potentially might delay some of the things they're doing because they're basically just going to respond to Epic Universe, which that's a whole other topic about Disney. But I've often wondered, would Universal go out there and maybe put out misinformation, maybe trying to get, Disney to not announce things, anticipating Epic Universe not being ready, and then that was just misinformation, and then they actually, are ready and they say they're opening early 2025. I don't know. That's kind of Game of Thrones-ish, I guess, but sometimes I think and I wonder if these companies do that sometimes. They definitely put information out there that maybe, that just to see the public's reaction. I don't know if they do it to that level. Now, obviously, I want to get it into Epic Universe as soon as possible, but what they were talking about, if it is true that Epic Universe is looking at doing a phased opening, so it would be like whatever land it is just wouldn't be open at the time. They could do this. Now, if you remember correctly, Galaxy's Edge in Disney World, it opened before Rise of the Resistance was open. So I was there opening day, so you could go ride the Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run ride, but Rise of the Resistance was just blocked off. There was nothing there, and it's still open. I think Rise of the Resistance opened like 6 months later, something like that. And given the way that Epic Universe is set up, where each lane has its own entrance and exit portal, you could just have a land not be available, and it wouldn't mess with crowd flow. I guess the questions would come into how does this affect the marketing for Epic Universe? Would they still charge full ticket prices? Like whatever this issue is, would they go about this route? Because at the same time, Universal wants to get their return on their investment as soon as possible. On top of the fact that I think they feel they have a very good opportunity right now to pounce on the fact that Disney World is down, and there's a lot of people who have a negative attitude and resentment toward Disney right now, so it's a great opportunity for them. I wonder if the rest of the park is done and just one land is delayed for whatever that reason being. I wouldn't be surprised if they did open with just not being able to go into one land, because at the very least then you could start getting a return on your investment. Now I guess the question would come into marketing. How do they market that? How do they price the tickets? I don't imagine they would price discount tickets. Maybe this would go into a longer annual pass holder preview during this time. So if we're looking at it, it's delayed a few months. So I suppose if this is true and is delayed, your best case scenario would be it's delayed. Instead of opening in the early part of 2025, it opening in the summer. Okay. I guess your worst case scenario would be that it's delayed and it's opening in the fall of 2025. So I guess if it's your best case delayed scenario, you could have longer annual pass holder previews and work out a lot of the kinks for the rest of it. And then the whole park opens, in the summer of 2025. It's the other way, to more toward the fall. I don't know. But when we take into account the marketing, they just did the final land reveal with the Ministry of Magic. Basically the last thing to really announce is an opening date and starting to sell tickets. So I imagine if this rumor is not true, then we would probably see some sort of information about an opening date or timeline for Epic Universe come out this month, or I suppose the latest would be in September. I would assume if we don't hear anything during that timeline, the delay of this may be, in fact, true. Now, again, this is just a rumor. I haven't found anything else about this. But at the same time as well, whatever this issue is, and again, we have no idea in terms of which land it is or what the problem is. On some level, you would assume that Universal would just try and throw as much money as they could at this problem, given how much money they stand to lose in delayed opening. They have every motivation to throw money at it so they can start making more money. So that was the rumor. Again, I don't have any more information about it. It's not something I like to hear. I would rather come on here and talk about that this is going to open. And at the same time that this rumor's out here, there are also other rumors and people really not having a source saying that they're hearing from Universal that it is going to open earlier than people anticipate, which I've often said. I've been saying for a while that from again, Steve Tatham, the guy who's the lead designer of Epic Universe, has come out and said as much. There's some rumors out there that this could you could start seeing AP previews and such start in December. If those timelines are true, I think what we'd be looking at is whatever Disney announces at D23, that Universal, either the same day or very soon after, would then come out with their announcement about when Epic Universe is going to open, AP previews, and all that sort of stuff. So we'll probably get an answer, perhaps by them not saying anything sometime rather soon this month or next month, if these delays are true. Now, they did change, for the longest time about the marketing. They said the summer of 2025. And then recently, on the last few land updates, they just said opening in 2025. There was speculation like then were there delays. I kind of felt like all along they were looking at opening sooner. But I suppose that them just saying opening in 2025 from a marketing standpoint, it does save them from having the I guess the bad press of saying like, oh, Epic Universe is delayed sort of thing. So technically, if it opened in 2025, all of that marketing would hold up. And that's it. They come out and say that's exactly what, they had planned all along and all these things like that. But as of right now, that's the rumor. Again, I hope this is not true. I really do. I have no idea, at least from the construction photos, I have no clue in which land this could be. As I said, it likely would be something that's like an internal issue, maybe some sort of, programming or wire. Who knows? I don't think it's anything from the construction side that we can see necessarily, but it would be interesting if they did open the park earlier than anticipated, but just one land is not accessible. And honestly, I mean, it probably would depend on which land it is, perhaps. But again, Galaxy's Edge opened without their main headliner ride open. They still opened that land. I don't think that's an ideal scenario, but I do think that there's enough hype for Epic Universe, enough people want to go to it, that I think, myself, I know I would go even if one land wasn't open. And I guess potentially you do open it up to people coming now and then having to revisit to see the, the new land that is eventually open, if that is the case. So if this rumor is true, I wouldn't be surprised if this park still opens in the timeline we've been looking at, which would be early part of 2025 or maybe summer of 25, but that just one land is not accessible. I still think they could do it. I guess marketing could be a little bit messy in terms of how do you really market it. But at the same time, they want to get their return on investment as quickly as they can. And one thing about Epic Universe is a lot of the Orlando travel is banking on Epic Universe opening. There's a lot of places, I think Disney thinking that they are also going to benefit from this. But there's a lot of places in Orlando that stand to benefit from Epic Universe opening due to the increased tourism, people coming in. So if Epic Universe is delayed, that is going to affect a lot of things in the Orlando area. It's probably going to affect Disney World quite a bit as well. So I could definitely see that scenario where they just open it with one land not open yet, and then eventually when that land is open, maybe that's when they then have their grand opening, announcement. So they have a lot of motivation to open this early for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, that is all that I have heard about this, but that is going to do it for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel as we do lots of coverage here of Epic Universe, Universal Studios, Disney World, and pop culture news. And let us know in the comments if this is a rumor you've heard, if you think this is true, or do you think that the park is still going to open either on time or ahead of schedule. And until next time, we will see you in the parks.